We did it. Right, bro? Right? Okay, hi everybody. My name is David Reese, and I just drove across the country from New York handing out flyers to promote my TV show. I've spent the last 2 weeks on the American highways and American byways doing an old school social media campaign, handing out flyers. So let's have question and answer times. Who has a question for me? We have a man with a microphone who can go around and provide you with a microphone. Yeah.
What's the most interesting thing you've learned in the last 24 hours?
That question is awesome. The most interesting thing I've learned in the last 24 hours? You want to know something? I'm going to be real. You guys know that song Shake It Off by Taylor Swift? She's a popular young singer-songwriter. I love that song, and I read an analysis of that song once by a recording engineer, and that recording engineer said in his essay that it was a perfectly recorded song because there's no bass line in it, which means you can turn it up infinitely loud and it will never distort. But we were listening to it in the van over the last 24 hours more than one time, and I felt like I did hear a bass line in it. So now I don't know if Taylor Swift is messing with my mind or if this recording engineer doesn't understand what a bass line is, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, okay? I'm not gonna let the Illuminati ruin my experience of Taylor Swift.
I didn't know there was so much that I didn't know.
That's
profound, huh?
That is really heavy, yeah. That's
You can
amazing.
use that on your
You're like
phone.
Aristotle. You want to let the dog investigate you. It's interesting.
Oh, they do too.
Yeah, they do.
go right for certain parts that they like to investigate.
Well, there are certain precious areas of the human body that dogs have unhealthy interests in. We can say that.
So much to learn.
So
and
much
and
to
it's
learn.
fun. You make it fun. It's a great show for the whole family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, David. All right. For more information about Going Deep with David Reese, go to www.rollingdeep2015.com.
Stickers?
Yes, please.
Please understand,
I'm not gonna-
we're flying home. We can't take any of this.
If I
We
say
have
no,
a,
you're gonna make me take
and
it
honestly, if
anyway.
anyone wants 2 folding chairs and a folding table, well, I mean, we are selling those.
And 2 boxing gloves.
And 2 boxing gloves.
And water.
And we have a lot of, we know you people need water, and we have a ton of bottles of water.
I drove to the neighborhood to meet with a friend, and I parked right behind your van, and I was like, David Reese, I love David Reese, that show's great, what happened to that show? And then Googled it and found out you guys would be here, and I came here, and now I'm late to meet my friend, and he doesn't.
How insane is that?
Hell yeah.
Isn't that crazy? That might be the first time the van actually ever worked.
Really?
On the last night.
It's like
Yeah.
not a fancy van, so I'm not surprised. It's like,
Oh, okay, now I need to film Corey, because Corey's about to go off on the Town and Country.
So, we're driving a Town and Country, which is made by Chrysler in Detroit. Now, this car is the toughest van I've ever been in. Am I wrong? We
It's
just
good,
drove
but
it
you-
through the desert today.
Right, we did.
Stow and go. You can plug in your computer. There's like 16 USB outlets. So you're right, it's not a luxury van, but it's an everyman's van.
It's a good van. It's a
Good van, hardworking. Chrysler tough.
Will you sign my apron?
Here we go. Yeah, totally. All right, so flex your pecs so that it's like
Yeah,
a rock.
there you go.
Yeah. The Sharpie's really popping on that black apron.
Awesome.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. It's a good apron too. It's nicer than mine.
Is it?
Yeah.